So the JSE All Share Index traded sharply higher on the last trading day of the month, extending gains for the third session in a row. It's an upbeat U.S. earnings lifted markets, or I should say upbeat U.S. markets lifted sentiment. South African media giant Naspers, by the way, has jumped almost 10%. Makwe Masilela is Chief Investment Officer and founder at Makwe Fund Managers. Joins us now to talk about the latest data. Give us a sense first, Makwe. Very good afternoon. Welcome. Give us a sense first of how the markets are faring in intraday trade.
Afternoon to you and to the viewers. We are all in the positive, and I think it's a good way to end the week. And we've been driven by our industrials and our resources. But our industrials, as you said in our intro, because you can see the tech companies coming with good earnings, and the likes of Tencent being up 8%. And then we know that the likes of Naspers and Proxas, they've got an exposure to that. So they're lifting our industrials, and our resources also continuing to help us, as we've seen yesterday, that they've been driving the market as well, and all because of high commodity prices. And we know it's mainly because of the comments that we had earlier that the China authorities are prepared to start boosting the economy. They need to do something about helping the economy, which now is suffering from the lockdowns that they had to impose because of the COVID-19 cases that we've seen. As much as we are up so far for the day, note that for the whole month of April to date, we are down almost 3.8%. And if you look at the rand itself, it's down almost 8.5% for the month of April. That is 125 cents down.
Oil prices mixed in early trade as China's COVID-19 lockdowns, as you were talking just now, weighed on the outlook for crude demand. Talk us through those moves.
But unfortunately now, fear is starting to come up again because of the supply disruption that are expected coming out of Russia. As we have seen that even after the talks with the UN Secretary, Russia continued to bomb Ukraine. So oil prices are more worried about that. And also the fact that Germany itself seems more likely to be joining the other European members to have an embargo when it comes to Russian oil. So more of the fears is what is now lifting oil prices, which are up now.
Chat to us quickly about SA's broadly defined M3 measure of money supply, which is out.
We've seen it going up in March, to 8.4%, up 8.4%. Remember, February, they went up by 6.4%. And sometimes this is good when you see it increasing because it might sometimes help to reduce interest rates and increase investments. So you need to look at your private sector credit extension, which we have seen that it has grown by almost 5.8% in March. In February, we know it went up by 3.6%. And it's good to see people continue to have access to credit because you need to have access to credit to grow your economy, especially if you'll be spending that credit on durable goods.
And then Impala Platinum's published its third quarter production report. Just how well did they do, or how badly?
Remember, in the half-yearly report, the guys had to cut their guidance by almost 10%. So the guys now are sticking to their guidance that for full year, they should still be able to produce that 3.2 million ounces. But we know that for March, for the third quarter, that is from January to March, they've seen that the basket of 6 metals have reduced by almost 8%. And we know issues like load shedding, inflation, supply chains, and also stoppages that they had to do for safety reasons.
Makwe Masilela, good to have your time. Enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Pleasure.